Hi, this is E.T., and this is the U.S. Congress assembled. Are you bored yet? Well, stay with me. This here's George Romney. He votes his conscience, and he'll also retire from the U.S. Senate in 2025, a wise career move considering the political temper of his home state of Utah. Romney said, "The people in Utah don't always agree with me at the posture I took with regards to Donald Trump, but they respect people who vote their conscience, and I appreciate that." Well, maybe. More important is, would they re-elect you? Romney is not alone in thinking that his conscience trumps, if you will, his constituents' wishes. The book Profiles in Courage, written by John F. Kennedy, Ted Sorensen, lists several politicos who, against the will of their constituents, voted their consciences. Representative and later Supreme Court Justice Lucius Lamar of Mississippi insisted that following only voters' opinions will, in his words, dwarf any man's statesmanship, and his vote would be simply considered as an echo of current opinion and not the result of mature deliberations. Senator John C. Calhoun of South Carolina said, "If my state approves, well and good. If she does not and wishes anyone to take my place, I am ready to vacate." This conflict between a legislator's conscience and that of his constituents goes way back as far as there's existed democratic assemblies. More recently, Edmund Burke, an Irish member of Parliament from Bristol, insisted during a 1774 speech that he is, to quote him, not a member of Bristol, but rather a member of Parliament. Put another way, this so-called trustee model of representation, as opposed to the delegate model, holds that the welfare of the whole country outweighs the opinions of a self-interested home constituency. By the way, Burke was out of a job after the next election. John Stuart Mill not only supported Burke's trustee model, but he championed the allocation of votes more to the well-educated, fewer to the working class. Two problems come to mind regarding this trustee model. Number one, the nearly unregulated funding of elected officials here in the USA, especially since the Supreme Court's Citizens United decision, means that an elected official is likely to first consider the interest of a campaign donor over those of the region's constituents or the country's. And number two, American voters, regardless of state, also consider the nation's welfare, albeit on occasion not always prior to that of the whole country. And they can be, contrary to John Stuart Mill, more reasonably informed and enlightened than are today's American intelligentsia. William F. Buckley, Jr., noted decades ago that he'd rather be governed by the first 2,000 names in the Boston phone book than by the faculty at Harvard. Now that's an observation more prescient today. Political scientist Wilmer Kendall observed that Americans, in particular those from the country's heartland, possess a certain wisdom, as he put it, in their hips. In other words, an intuitive, correct understanding of life. So what's the answer? The trustee model, whereby your representative votes his own and not your will, or the older delegate model, that means your will alone decides? Well, E.T. supports, for the time being at least, the latter one, the delegate model, despite a tendency among voters to demand what the ancient Roman civitas clamored for, bread and circuses. And number two, also a growing lumpen proletariat, that, as James Baldwin put it, is that most dangerous creation of any society, the man who has nothing to lose. So, what do you think? Express yourself in the comment section below. Do tap that like button and subscribe to this channel. And if you would, share the videos. Thank you.